All right, lesson 13.1, recording a payroll. We have two learning objectives today. Analyze a payroll transaction and then journalize a payroll, including employee payroll taxes. First of all, there are different forms of payroll information. Payroll information for each pay period is recorded both in a payroll register and in an employee's earnings records. Separate payroll accounts for each employee are not kept in the general ledger. Accounts that summarize the total earnings and deductions for all employees are kept in the general ledger. So the general ledger is just summarization. All the details are kept in other places. The total of gross earnings for all employees earning hourly wages, salaries, and commissions is called a salary expense. That's our main vocabulary word for this section. So the payroll register and employee earning records, they provide all the payroll information needed to prepare payroll and payroll tax reports. Journal entries are made to record the payment of the payroll and the employer payroll taxes. So those journal entries are important because we need to record what an employee is earning, and we need to record all of the taxes that we are collecting so that we can pay that to the government. Various quarterly and annual payroll tax records are required to report the payment of payroll taxes. So like I said, we need to keep track of these things so that we know how much to pay the government when the time comes. All right, so analyzing payment of payroll. Here we have all of our employees, their marital status, their number of allowances for withholding, for deductions. I'm just going to call out a few things here. The column totals, so column totals, every single column. The column totals of a payroll register provide the debit and credit amounts needed to journalize a payroll. We're going to look at here, I've got the sum of the total earnings column, which is $8,076.75. That's the salary expense for the period. It's debited when we journalize. The total of each deductions column is credited to a liability account, except the total. So each deduction is a liability to the company because we're collecting that from the employer and we need to pay it to the government. Amounts withheld from employees are a liability until sent to the federal government. And then the net pay column total, $6,269.87. It's the net amount paid to employees. In this instance, cash is credited for this amount. A check for the total net pay amount is drawn on a general check and deposited into a separate payroll checking account. Individual paychecks are then written on the payroll checking account. So this money is drawn out of this account and deposited into a payroll checking account, and that's where all the employees get paid from. All right, analyzing payment of payroll. We have all of the liability accounts, okay, and then the salary expense. This is debited, and these are all credited. And we'll see that as we journalize. So December 15th, we paid cash for semi-monthly payroll. Total payroll, less deductions, employee income tax, etc., for check number 732. So here's what it looks like, and this is what your work together is going to say. The date is the 15th, salary expense, check number 732, and that is our debit amount, which is the total right there. On this line item, we also have the cash credit. So that's the total minus all of the credits. This is the cash that's going to get drawn out so you can pay payroll. Sorry, date, amount debited, check number, total earnings, amount paid to employees. And then the rest of this right here, all of these, I'd make a note of how they write them out. See how they're all payable? And these are all the credits. These are the deductions. Accounts credited and the amounts. All right, what account title is used to journalize the total earnings column of a payroll register? Salary expense. It's when you journalize, that's when you have salary expense. What account title is used to journalize the federal income tax column of the payroll register? I'll show you. Right here, it's one of these. Employee income tax payable. There we go. What account title is used to journalize the Social Security tax column? Social Security tax payable. What do we think? Medicare tax payable. And that's it. Let's do a work together. See if I can stop this. There we go.